Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. Achtelfinal-Session des German Darts Grand Prix 2018. Und wir starten mit der aktuellen Nummer 9 der Welt. 7 Major-Turniere konnte er in seiner Laufbahn gewinnen. Auch ein European Tour-Sieg war mit dabei vor 2 Jahren in Hamburg. Ladies and gentlemen, the Machine, James Wade! Es ist das Duell der 9 gegen die 10 der Weltrangliste. Einer der erfolgreichsten Spieler auf der European Tour mit 3 European Tour Siegen. Der Mann ist aktuell die Nummer 2 in der Premier League. Aus St. Helens, der Bully Boy Michael Smith. In dieser Achtelfinal-Session geht die Distanz Best of 11 Legs. Man braucht also 6 Legs, um in das Viertelfinale einzuziehen. Und Caller des ersten Achtelfinals ist der Calculator, Kirk Bevins.
Well, welcome to Munich in Germany for the final day of action at the German Darts Grand Prix. Euro Tour number 2 for 2018. We've got 16 players left in the field, whittled down from 48 that arrived here at the start of this Easter weekend at the Zenith Kulturhalle in Munich. Nearly half of the field are unseeded players who had to come through qualifiers to get here. A third of them have won Euro Tour titles before, and we start today with Michael Smith against James Wade. 2 men in the very elite club of multiple Euro Tour title winners. Now, this weekend, you might have thought it'd be very reminiscent of last weekend, the first Euro Tour, because all the seedings were the same. But in actual fact, by the time we reach the last 16 stage, the third round we've got this afternoon, there's only 1 game that's the same matchup as this stage last week, and it's probably the game you would have wanted to see again, because Michael Smith versus James Wade, the first one on today, was a stormer last weekend. I'm Dan Dawson, Chris Murphy, alongside me in the commentary box, will be talking you through the final day of action.
First leg is Michael to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, 7 seeds lost yesterday here in Munich, but the top 7 seeds survived. And Michael Smith, as you can see there, the number 3 seed, he's never beaten
100.
James Wade in a match on the stage, but I know that he's keen to try and exact some revenge for that defeat last week. It was an absolutely brilliant clash.
100.
And this one could well be something similar. We've seen some incredible games this weekend. That's not an exaggeration, and this pair have been involved in a couple of them for different reasons. Michael Smith, the performance of the tournament so far yesterday, averaging 105 and change in his win against Chris Dobie. James Wade, a tide-turning 150 checkout in his victory against Jelle Klaassen. Of course, James Wade, one of the unseeded players to come through.
Well, he was unseeded last weekend, wasn't he? And last weekend he beat Jelle Klaassen, then he beat Michael Smith, and he was only knocked out in the semi-finals by Peter Wright.
Well, he's already scored more maximums in this leg, in this match, than he had in his previous 2 games. Combined.
140. James Wade, 81.
Michael Smith territory, 7 yesterday for him.
In 8 legs, unbelievably. What a start from the Machine. 2 180s, an 81 checkout on the bullseye, a 12 darts break of throw. These 2 last weekend both averaged more than 105. Astonishing stuff. James Wade starting like he's in the mood to do something similar.
Yeah, it would have been 125 average for that leg. Michael Smith did manage 105 yesterday.
134.
Because Chris Dobie was a standout performer of the day before, but Michael Smith was way too good for him.
Yeah, Chris Dobie had been winding him up prior to the match, saying that, oh, last time out I gave you a hiding, beat you 6-1. And he's been just nibbling away at him in a sort of jokey way. But when Michael Smith gets wound up, sometimes it can produce that kind of performance. Now, I know he was really, really annoyed last week to go up against James Wade and see Wade chuck in well, one of his highest averages on the Euro Tour. It might well have been a record on the European Tour for James Wade. It was certainly one of the best performances that I've seen from him, including when he won his most recent Euro Tour title a couple of years back in Hamburg, beating MVG and Dave Chisnall in the final session of action.
Yeah, well, it's the world number 9 against the world number 10.
140.
Just leapfrog Smith at the moment in the world rankings.
It was last weekend, wasn't it? They just shoved him above it. That game dictated who was going to get the number 9 spot.
120.
Robin Hoods himself and denies another, well, possibly another 60 points.
Yeah, and it could be the difference in this leg, because he wouldn't have needed to find a treble in this visit had that dart found the treble. But he has, and he's found 2. But he can't find double 5, and James Wade had the chance to double his lead.
On the second leg, James Wade. Then it's Michael to throw first.
Wading again. Interesting little fact that every time Michael Smith has managed to beat James Wade, only 3 times from their 12 previous meetings, every time he's done it, he's gone on to reach the final of that tournament, and have not been semi-final wins, including his very first Pro Tour title when he won in Spain. But all those victories, as I mentioned, have come on the floor. So it would be another step for Michael Smith, but it's looking already increasingly difficult.
Yeah, but we know Michael Smith has this capacity to just start scoring, you know, hammering that 60 like this.
100.
It's just a ton, but Wade's going to have to find 3 big trebles just to leave a finish. You know, if Michael Smith starts scoring like he did against Chris Dover yesterday, even James Wade is going to stop him.
170. $96. $140.
That gets Wade down to a finish, so Michael Smith would like to get the job done here. Leaves his favourite target, but he hasn't found it. If James Wade can find a couple of trebles, odds are he'll hit the double, because he hasn't missed one yet.
He had a dart at double 5 in the last leg, couldn't pin it. But he does do this time.
Michael Smith. Ball taken James to throw first. Game on.
As ever, on the final day of these Euro Tours, the action takes place as per the draw bracket.
140.
So we've got Michael Smith versus James Wade here. The winner of this game will go through to the quarterfinals, first quarterfinal of tonight's action, and play the winner of the next game, which is Mensur Suljovic against Germany's number 1, Max Hopp, another seeded player playing an unseeded player. And it'll just buddy up like that in those pairs of games through the afternoon. Cullen versus Steve West. Winner of that faces either Peter Wright or Alan Tabben. This side of the draw, the top 4 seeds all made it through, and they're facing unseeded players. But, you know, when you just look at the unseeded players who made it through, particularly this game here, I mean, James Wade is in real form. You can't discount them. It's not going to be a cruise through for the top-seeded players. Luke Humphreys playing some very good stuff as well. He's an unseeded player in the other half of the draw against Rob Croft.
81.
Darren Webster and Keegan Brown, 2 unseeded players. So we know there's an unseeded player making it through to tonight's quarterfinals.
Yeah, just a couple of matches where 2 seeds meet at the last 16 stage. It's Darryl Gurney against Ian White, and the last one, MVG taking on Alan Norris, who said...
Oh, that was a repeat from last week. It's another game. There we go.
Yeah, Alan Norris, who was saying that he didn't care who won between Michael Van Gerwen and Steve Lennon last night. But hang on, we'll return to that point, because James Wade's at it here. Hasn't missed a dart double yet.
120.
But that's one he could afford to miss with the bully boy back on 220.
Yeah, rumour has it that Alan Norris was watching the MVG game, having claimed he didn't care. Michael Van Gogh, I'll beat him or I'll beat Steve Lennon, but then was getting very excited when he went all the way down to last leg decider.
Michael to throw first. Game on.
James Wade keeping that little bit of daylight between him and the bully boy.
40.
There's a couple of unfortunate turns for Michael Smith in this match.
Well, let's see what the bully boy's made of. We know that he can go up there, and if everything's going brilliantly from the first start, we see performances like he put in yesterday against Chris Dobie, and he has won 4 of these European Tour titles. Only Peter Wright and MVG have more than Michael Smith. But if he is going to turn this match around, he's going to have to show some real character and up his levels of performance, because you don't anticipate Wade just giving away
140.
Yeah, well, he's
the victory.
Sort of 20% worse than he was yesterday, Michael Smith, so far in this one. And you do wonder
140.
how aware he is of his record against James Wade, because it doesn't make fantastic reading.
No, it doesn't.
134.
This is their 4th meeting on the Euro Tour. Wade has won all 3 of the previous ones, a semi-final, a quarter-final and a last 16 clash, as this is.
140. Michael Aguirre, 129.
Pressure on this. Gotta go.
87.
It's just not going for Michael Smith, is it, so far today? And James Wade could really steal a march here. That's in 15. So 6 for tops.
21.
A let off. Wow, yes. James Wade can't believe he's missed tops twice in this match. Michael Smith cannot afford to miss again.
22.
But he does.
40. On the 5th leg, James Wade. Same leg as James to throw first.
It is 4-1. That's another break of throw, and it looks very much like Michael Smith is going to go out in the 3rd round on the European Tour to the same man 2 weekends running.
100.
And we did wonder if last week's performance and the stuff we've seen on the Pro Tour so far this year from James Wade was going to continue. We've heard him talk himself up in the past and say, I'm practicing now, I'm not lying about practice anymore, I really am practicing and I'm ready and I'm focused and I'm going to return to winning ways. And he hasn't followed it up on a consistent basis. But who knows, he could be walking away from the German Darts Grand Prix with the title. He doesn't care if Michael Smith hits a 180, he's going to hit one straight back.
Perfect illustration of why James Wade is so dangerous, because his timing, his ability to just find a great visit when he needs it. Maybe like this one, a real Wadey. Oh, look at it. Just look at it. Oh, magnificent. Bang in the middle of the double 14. 301 points in 2 visits from James Wade, when Michael Smith had just kicked in to actually try and mount a fight back.
Yeah, Michael Smith has just kicked in. That's the problem for the bully boy. A couple of 180s in the last
45.
leg and a half. But James Wade may be too far in front for Smith to race back.
57.
And he needed just one big shot to beat Jelle Klaasen yesterday, but this has been a consistently good performance from James Wade.
180.
Tell me this man is not going to be a threat at major tournaments this year.
140.
Tell me.
Why would I say that?
Well, just tell me.
This man is not going to be a threat.
You're wrong. You are wrong, Murphy.
100.
I had my fingers crossed anyway. 1-2-4. We've just seen 1-2-1 from James Wade. We're not going to see Michael Smith 92. Hit that, but he has set up the shots.
Doesn't like double 16 though, Michael Smith. Doesn't like this area of the board.
He hasn't liked many doubles so far in this match.
28.
Is this it? Is this the end? With James Wade on 116. He hasn't been missing much.
76. Michael, you require 4.
One match dart missed at double top. Michael Smith. Madhouse.
2 score. You require 40.
The end is here for the bully boy, surely.
Game shot.
And that confirms it. James Wade. Superb stuff. A 6-1 win against a 4-time Euro Tour winner. Wade in the hunt for a 3rd European Tour title himself this weekend. The first man through to the final session. 60% on doubles and an average in excess of 97. Proper wading that as he sees off the number 3 seed. That is the highest seeded player to fall so far. Yesterday we saw 6 consecutive games where seeded players went out. Surely that's not going to happen today, or is it? Find out as Germany's number 1 Max Up takes on Mensur Suljovic next.
That was a good match. Yeah, not satisfied. Average of 99. Was it? Yeah, really?
Oh, I didn't realise that. But no, it's kind of hard when, you know, I want to beat him. I want to beat him all around the park. But when someone misses doubles like that, if you're a genuine friend, you know, it hurts a little bit.
Okay. What is the most difficult part of such a last day of the European Tour day? Could be 4 matches. What is the most difficult thing?
There is no difficult part of the day. You know, you potentially got 4 matches. If you can't get up for that, it's your own fault.
Okay. See you later again. Thank you, James. James Wade. Habe ihn gefragt, was das Schwierigste an so einem Tag ist, wenn man da 4 Matches vor der Nase hat. Er sagt, wenn du da irgendeine